Hello, Afi Rule here. I wear what I make, and I can teach you how to wear what you make. Today, let's talk about how to install zippers into your garments. What we'll be doing is using scrap pieces of fabric with an all-purpose zipper to practice the basic skill set that you'll need before you actually install the zipper into your garment. You'll need 2 pieces of scrap fabric with one all-purpose zipper, and make sure that the pieces of scrap fabric are at least as long as your zipper. You can also make them longer. You'll need stick pins, a seam ripper, and your choice of small scissors or snippers. You'll also need an ironing board with an iron. Before we move on to step 1, I want to orient you as to how you're going to lay your zipper out on top of your fabric. You're going to see here where we have the wrong side of the fabric facing up. So this is what your fabric is going to look like once you stitch the pieces together, right sides together. You're going to lay it flat with the wrong side up, and then we're going to press down the seams, and I'll show you how to do all of that. And then you're going to have the zipper facing down on top of the seam with the teeth lined up to the seam, okay? Then you're going to have the top of the zipper where the 2 pieces are on the top red circle, underneath the top red circle. And those 2 pieces, you want to line them up with the top of the fabric, just as you see in the picture, okay? And then the second or bottom red circle is showing you where we're going to stitch underneath the stopper. If you have any questions about this part, just make sure that you leave them below. I just wanted to give you a visual of how everything is going to look once we stitch the 2 pieces together, because inside of the tutorial, you're just going to see me stitching it together. I wanted to give you an explanation, and you can even take a screenshot or snapshot of this if you want to and use it for reference. So the first step that we're going to take is we're going to sew the 2 pieces of scrap fabric together. Now the seam allowance is going to be wide enough to where the zipper will be able to fit over the total amount of the seam, okay? So you want to make it about maybe like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, or it really just depends on your zipper. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to place the fabric right side up and spread the seam apart, and then we're going to press it down. This is going to make it a lot easier to place the zipper on top of it and line it up like I showed you in the picture earlier. Now we're going to pin our zipper down in the way that I showed you earlier. And I'm just showing you how I basically did that with 1 extra pin here. I pinned almost everything else down. I'm just leaving this one to show you how I did it. And now we're ready to stitch. Now I want you to notice how I have the zipper foot lined up. I'm on the right side of the zipper foot with the needle, okay? And I'm stitching out. I'm not stitching right up on the teeth of the zipper. I'm stitching more out, almost towards the edge of the fabric on the zipper. Making sure that I take my pins out before I stitch over them, and making sure not to stitch over my pins and taking them out. So now we've come to the end of the zipper, and I'm making sure that I stitch right beneath the stopper. And then what I'm going to do is place the needle down and leave it down. And then I'm going to lift my foot up, pivot at a 90-degree angle, place my foot back down, and then continue. I'm going to go right to where I was, like on the other side with this zipper, the fabric on the zipper. Place the needle down, lift my foot up, pivot at a 90-degree angle again, place my foot back down, and then continue in a straight line. And now that we're coming near to the end, I'm just going to do a quick back stitch to make sure that my stitches stay in place. And snip off my thread. So now what we're doing is we're seam ripping out the stitch that we made to sew the two pieces of scrap fabric together so that we can access our zipper, because if we leave it there, we won't be able to functionally zip or unzip. So I'm just showing you how I'm carefully, very carefully doing this, maybe 1 or 2 stitches at a time, 2 at the most, and making sure not to cut the fabric. That's the most important thing, not to cut the fabric or to cut the zipper and damage the zipper. Now that we have ripped all of the seam out of the original stitch, I want to make sure that my zipper works. So I'm simply zipping and unzipping it like I would a garment, and this is about what it would look like. And a few things that you want to look for is 1, that your stitches are accurate and straight. 2, that the zipper seems like it is firmly in place. And 3, that overall it just looks like a good job. If you feel like any or all of those 3 need to be redone or you need more practice, that's okay. Simply rip out the stitches from the zipper and everything else and redo it. That's the point of this exercise, is to get you comfortable doing it before you actually install a zipper into an actual garment. That concludes our January sewing tutorial as featured in the Wear What You Make community. For more tutorials like these and to participate in our first sew along of 2024, you can join the community at join.wearwhatyoumake.com. And also, to be a part of the Wear What You Make online tribe, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.